Faced with India's massive plan to acquire an additional 114 Rafale fighter jets, can Pakistan's Air Force effectively counter with its current capabilities? This multi-billion-dollar arms deal is not merely about aircraft numbers. It strikes at the core of South Asia's strategic balance. India aims to build a Rafale fleet exceeding 140 aircraft through localized production and technology transfer, which will exert unprecedented pressure on Pakistan. Should Pakistan continue acquiring the battle-proven J-10C or leapfrog generations by introducing the J-35 stealth fighter? This requires in-depth analysis of the real threats, Pakistan's own capabilities, and strategic breakthrough points. The core of India's procurement lies in scale and autonomy. It demands that the majority of aircraft be produced domestically and seeks technology transfer, aiming to establish long-term air superiority and elevate its aviation industry. Although implementation may face challenges, once achieved, the Indian Air Force will gain a dual enhancement in both quantity and quality. As a mature multi-role fourth-and-a-half-generation fighter, the Rafale possesses outstanding situational awareness, maneuverability, and weapon-carrying capabilities. Facing such an adversary, Pakistan's limited geographical depth leaves key targets vulnerable, making it difficult to fully compensate for numerical inferiority through tactics alone. While Pakistan's Air Force operates approximately 450 combat aircraft, its complex fleet structure means its primary high-end capabilities capable of directly countering the Rafale rely on recently acquired J-10C fighters and the newly upgraded JF-17 Block 3. The J-10C's combat effectiveness has been proven in real-world engagements. According to the top 10 news stories of 2025, released by China's National Administration of Science, Technology and Industry for National Defense, the J-10C achieved a remarkable combat record in aerial combat, downing multiple enemy aircraft without suffering any losses itself. This surpasses all pay-per-performance comparisons, demonstrating its formidable efficacy in complex real-world combat environments. Technologically, the J-10C is no ordinary fourth-generation fighter. Its clamshell intake and stealth coatings reduce radar cross-section, while its active phased array radar, paired with PL-15 beyond visual range air-to-air missiles boasting a range exceeding 200 kilometers, grants it the decisive advantage of early detection and first strike capability. The PL-15 missile, with its dual-pulse engine and advanced guidance system, challenges existing medium-range air combat paradigms. Moreover, China provides a comprehensive combat system solution encompassing training, logistics, and tactical support, ensuring rapid combat readiness. Meanwhile, Pakistan's domestically developed JF-17 fighter, particularly the Block 3 variant, forms the backbone of its air force. The Block 3 variant, equipped with an active phased array radar and new avionics, has reached the threshold of fourth-and-a-half-generation capabilities. Crucially, it can also integrate the export variant PL-15E beyond visual range air-to-air missile. This means that, supported by the system, large numbers of the more cost-effective JF-17 Block 3S can pose an effective threat to the Rafale in long-range engagements. Furthermore, the recent U.S. approval for modernizing Pakistan's F-16 fleet, extending its service life beyond 2040, has enabled the Pakistan Air Force to establish a clearly tiered, complementary air combat system comprising J-10C fighters, JF-17 Block 3S, and upgraded F-16S. This system possesses considerable resilience and counter capabilities when addressing current threats. However, if Pakistan merely expands its existing system, it will be forced into a passive cycle of catch-up and attrition against India's future Rafale fleet, which could exceed 140 aircraft. The disparity in defense budgets precludes Pakistan from engaging in a pure numbers race with India. The J-10C's excellence is undeniable, and its combat performance has demonstrated that victory over the Rafale is achievable through system superiority, missile advantages, and pilot proficiency. Yet, when the adversary's numerical superiority reaches a certain threshold, this qualitative edge becomes diluted, leaving minimal margin for error within one's own systems. Therefore, pursuing a solution that generates generational superiority, trading quality for quantity, emerges as the rational choice to break the strategic stalemate. This is precisely why the J-35 stealth fighter is viewed as the critical answer. The revolutionary advantage of the J-35 lies in the one-way transparent battlefield created by its stealth capabilities. Its radar cross-section is extremely small, potentially as low as 0.01 square meters, drastically reducing the detection range of fourth-and-a-half-generation fighters like the Rafale in beyond visual range air combat. Leveraging its stealth advantage, the J-35 can operate forward as a concealed reconnaissance and strike node. It can not only initiate attacks using its own powerful onboard radar and ultra-long-range air-to-air missiles, but also function as an airborne command post. Through high-speed data links, it distributes real-time target information to rear-area J-10C or JF-17 fighter squadrons, maintaining radar silence, guiding them to launch missiles for beyond visual range coordinated strikes. This stealth-led, non-stealth-fired tactic maximizes the combat effectiveness of non-stealth aircraft, achieving a synergistic effect, where 1 + O greater than TWO. For the Indian Air Force, this presents an elusive, stealthy threat, whose attacks are difficult to detect and originate from unknown sources, a capability capable of disrupting their existing tactical plans and forced deployments. From a strategic deterrence perspective, the J-35's combat radius sufficiently covers most of India's strategic depth. Its stealth penetration capability enables precision strikes against critical Indian airbases, command centers, and early warning radar nodes with minimal warning, aiming to paralyze the adversary's combat systems early in any conflict. The psychological deterrence and strategic disadvantage this capability imposes cannot be matched by any quantity of fourth and a half generation fighters. More critically, should Pakistan become the first nation in South Asia to field fifth-generation stealth fighters, it would seize strategic initiative for the next decade or longer. India's indigenous fifth-generation fighter program, the AMCA, remains in development, while acquiring U.S. F-35s faces complex political and military conditions with uncertain prospects. This implies the Indian Air Force will likely endure a prolonged gap in stealth fighter capabilities. This time window presents Pakistan with an exceptionally valuable strategic opportunity. Of course, selecting the J-35 also carries significant challenges. First is the economic factor. The unit cost of acquiring fifth-generation fighters, their full life cycle maintenance expenses, and the associated infrastructure development costs far exceed those of fourth-generation aircraft. This poses a severe test for Pakistan's defense budget. Second is the technological barrier. Maintaining stealth fighters, training pilots, and building tactical systems are all far more complex, requiring deeper, near-integrated defense cooperation with China as the supplier. Additionally, China's own demand for the J-35 may impact its export production capacity and delivery timelines. These are all practical factors Pakistan must weigh in its decision-making. Therefore, regarding the seemingly binary choice between increasing J-10C purchases or introducing the J-35, the wisest approach may be a phased, dynamically evolving integrated strategy. From an immediate urgency perspective, continuing to moderately increase J-10C procurement while accelerating production and deployment of the FC-1 Block 3 remains the most pragmatic and rapid option. This would immediately reinforce existing defenses, countering the direct pressure from India's growing Rafale fleet with a proven, reliable force. Subsequent batches of J-10C may also incorporate more advanced technologies, leaving room for further performance enhancements. However, for the long-term development and fundamental breakthrough of Pakistan's air power, initiating and steadfastly advancing the J-35 acquisition plan should become a strategic consensus among Pakistan's leadership. This does not mean immediately replacing existing aircraft, but rather serving as the crowning touch in building future core deterrent capabilities. A phased approach could be adopted, such as prioritizing personnel training, infrastructure preparation, and establishing initial operational capability with an affordable number of aircraft. Ultimately, the aerial competition in South Asia has entered a new phase. India seeks to establish dominance through the sheer scale of its Rafale fleet, while Pakistan's counter-strategy should not be limited to a simple peer-to-peer confrontation. History has proven that leveraging asymmetric advantages to offset numerical disadvantages remains the consistent wisdom of the Pakistan Air Force.